Hello, hello, guys. How are you? Hello. Who have we got here? Who's watching me today? Give me a like and a love. Hey, Elaine. Good to see you, my friend. Give us some likes. Give us some loves. That will just help Facebook get the notification out to everybody who is wanting to join us today. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm curious to know what's been happening. Did you learn anything about yesterday? Did you learn anything about your real needs yesterday? Is there anything underlying your desire for sugar that you may be ignoring? Did you go a little bit deeper and ask yourself that question? Did you discover if there's another need behind your craving? Let me know. What messages in your gut, in your soul, your intuition, what's it trying to tell you that you might be trying to just push away with sugar? Tell me about your ahas. Right, we'll just wait a little bit more till a few other people join us today. So, talk to me. Have you had any ahas? Talk to me about them. When you start to have ahas about what's really going on for you, that's when your transformation can truly start to occur. Okay, once your eyes are open to what's going on, that's when you can start to go to work on the real problem. That's when you can start to, know deep down that this pattern can shift for you. You can start to really imagine a different reality for yourself. All right, so tell me what's going on for you. All right. All right, it is day 4. I know attendance usually tends to drop off a little bit on day 4. So I'll press on anyway. I'll press on. But just to let you know, before we dive into today's topic around retraining your brain, I do have a special offer for everybody who has been registered in this training this week, which I'll talk about at the end of the session today. All right, it's incredible value, but this offer is only open to everybody who has registered for this training. I'm not offering it any wider. So if you're watching this, you just happen to be in my group and you're not registered, hey, find the registration form. Look for it. It's in the group here. In fact, it's in the cover photo. It's in the comments of the cover photo of this group. If you want this offer, you've got to be registered, right? And one of these offers I'm only offering until the end of tomorrow, end of my day, Friday. All right, so you want to be quick with this, and you want to stick around to hear about it as well. Hello, Elaine. Thank you. Stick on as long as you can. That's great. This is going to be a powerful session. Right, today, as I said, we're talking about retraining your brain. Now, this is definitely something that won't happen overnight. Just to context that, to pre-frame that. This will take practice. It's going to take trial, error, mistakes, more practice, more trial, more error, lots of mistakes, lots of failure, right? Lots of mistakes and lots of failure is what eventually leads to success. If you give up trying because you don't get it right first time or even second time, because you make a mistake or you believe that failing at this means that you're a failure, then that's when you really have failed. You only fail when you give up. I like to say there is no failure. There's only learning and understanding and growing. So if you consider this, if you take this mindset shift for a moment, if you consider that maybe we are put on this planet, we're given this incredible life, this incredible conscious brain to explore, to make mistakes, to learn from that and to grow, right? That just helps you get out of this fear of making mistakes, fear of failure. There is no fail. There's only learning and growing, right? So consider that as you attempt these strategies or this strategy today, all right? Michael Jordan failed more than anybody else in the NBA, and that's why he rose to the top. He didn't make failure at what he was doing mean that he couldn't be the best, right? He saw it as a necessary path to success, as many successful people do. As you approach this strategy, I want you to approach it with the full expectation that you will fail and fail and fail and fail over and over and over until you succeed. Like riding a bike. You fail until you succeed. This is how we build strength. This is how we build character. This is how we create the lives that we want and have the ultimate success that we desire in life. We don't make mistakes and fail. Sorry, we don't make mistakes and failures at what we're doing mean that we can't succeed or that we are a failure. Right? We embrace mistakes and failure because we know that it's ridiculous to expect that we will get it right the first time and each and every time. Right? Think of when you were a baby. Think of when you were trying to walk for the first time. Did you stop trying after the first time you stood up and fell over? No, I imagine, if you were walking around today, you got up and you tried again and again and again. And eventually you took those first steps and soon you were running all over the place and your poor parents couldn't keep up with you. Right? A baby doesn't make failure at what they're attempting to do mean that they are a failure. So this making failure mean that we are a failure is a learned belief that we adapt and we adopt as we get older. This is something that we need to recognize within ourselves, especially when it is coming up for us when we try something new. And we need to recognize what's happening. We need to put that aside so that we can get on with making more mistakes and have more learning. So let's talk about it. Training your brain. Your brain is like a little dog. Think of it that way. Or, a little dog. We'll start with a little dog. Excuse me. Your brain has learned that certain situations or emotions will lead to a reward which is basically that shot of pleasurable dopamine via the means of sugar. All right, you've literally trained it that way. Think of how you might train a dog to shake hands. So first of all, you hold out you can see my hand there, hold out your hand to the dog, right? And then you might grab the dog's paw, put it in your own hand, and then you shake it, right? And then you give the dog a treat, right? And if you keep repeating, the dog doesn't know that as a pattern the first time you do it. You have to keep repeating that pattern with the dog. And then they get to know that when you say shake hands or put out your hand, put out your own paw, that it's going to get a treat if it puts its paw in your hand, right? That's how you train a dog to shake hands. That's how you train a creature. And that is also how habits are formed, and that's how you've trained your brain. So this is the cue for creating habits. This is the formula for creating habits. First of all, you have the cue. And then you have a craving. The cue creates a craving. The craving initiates a response. And then the response delivers a reward. So think of it in terms of the dog. The cue is you putting out your hand, or maybe saying shake hands, or whatever you say to the dog, whatever the cue is to the dog. The craving, oh my God, the dog gets a sudden rush and craving for a treat. The response is the dog gets excited, gives you its paw, and the reward is you give it a tasty treat. The dog gets a dopamine hit. Right? I have actually done this with my cat as well, Cougar. Except I don't do it with tasty treats. She couldn't care less for food. She eats when she's hungry. She doesn't when she's not. She eats how humans should eat. She's a grazer. But I'm not saying we should graze. I'm saying she eats when she's hungry and she doesn't when she's not. But her reward is face rubs. That's her absolute favorite thing in the whole wide world. Like, she'll do anything to get a face rub. She will rub her own face on anything just to get a face rub, all right? So I can now put up my hand to her like this, and she will touch my hand, and she knows she's going to get face rub. So just as a dog might get ridiculously excited about the prospect of a treat, your brain is also getting ridiculously excited about the prospect of its upcoming dopamine pleasure hit. So let's look at this in terms of the brain. Cues. The cue is whenever you start thinking about sugar. Right, so that could be For some, it might be walking into their favorite cafe that they know sells their favorite slice or muffin or something like that. Or it could be even just thinking about going out for coffee. But the cue is the thing that starts that craving. It could also be something that you see. It's usually something that's related to any of our senses. So, say, walking past a donut shop, or walking past a cake store, or walking down the chocolate aisle in the supermarket. It could be you hear. I don't know about everybody in the States, but I don't even know about Australia, but in New Zealand we had Mr. Whippy. Mr. Whippy was the ice cream man. He used to drive all the local neighbourhoods, and as soon as the kids used to hear the Mr. Whippy jingle, oh my God, yes, running out into the street, can we have ice cream? Can we have ice cream? So that started the craving in us kids as we were growing up. It can be something that you feel as well. So it can be an emotion that you feel. So we talked yesterday about emotions, emotional eating. So the cue can be an emotion like feeling upset or anxious or cranky or bored or tired when you feel something, right? So the brain receives that initial cue. And what it does is it throws up a craving, an urge, a desire for a treat. It just it throws up that urge. Your response is how you go about obtaining that pleasure. So doing whatever it takes to eat the sugar, whether that's going to the cafe, whether that is running out in the street and chasing Mr. Whippy down the street, whether that is, not instead of walking past the donut store, actually going inside, right? Your response is how you respond to that desire. And most people are responding to it. And your reward is then getting the sugar and that nice sweet dopamine hit. Right? That is the habit loop. Every time you meet that craving with the response, or you respond by delivering the reward, you are strengthening that whole habit loop process. And if you bear with me, I am going to show you an image very shortly. Flick over to my screen. Where are we? Share screen. Technology these days, it's wonderful. Where am I? Sorry, just give me a moment. I don't want to share that screen. No. Go away. Sorry. Let's go back. This one here. There we go. I can't have two Google screens at once. All right, this is the habit loop here. We've got the cue, which starts here. This is something that is related to your senses, something that tricks off that craving. We'll move to the craving. The craving here comes up. That's the desire. That's the urge. That's the thing in your brain going, sugar, 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 feed me. Your response is how then you respond to that craving. Most people are just eating for the craving, right? And then you deliver your brain that shot of dopamine, deliver your taste buds exactly what they want, that nice sweet taste, and you deliver your gut microbiota exactly what they want to eat as well. And that whole habit loop starts to strengthen. Right? I'll just exit out of that. Thank you. Alrighty. If you want to learn a little bit more about that habit loop, a great book for you to read if you haven't read it already is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So essentially by following through on that whole habit loop, you have trained your brain to desire sugar when these cues are present. You've decided, you have trained your brain because you've followed through and you've responded to that craving. You've trained your brain that it can now throw up a cue and get a reward. But we are not here to beat ourselves up for having created this issue. No, we don't beat ourselves up around here, all right? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense, right? When we beat ourselves up, we can't hear the lesson. We can't hear the lesson that we're supposed to take away from this. We can't feel the learning. So instead, we're going to see it as a great opportunity to learn how to retrain the brain. So if we can retrain the brain one way, we can train it another way, right? Just like a dog. So breaking that habit loop, how do we do it? First of all, we just need to break somewhere in that whole cycle. We can remove the cue. We can remove the cue that is causing the craving to start with. We can do it sometimes. We can't always do it sometimes. If you can remove that cue, then that whole habit loop doesn't even start. For example, you may, if you're walking past a donut store every day on your way to work or wherever it is, every day on your journey, maybe you want to take a different route so that you don't walk past that store and you don't get that craving. You may want to go to a different cafe. You may want to put your earplugs in when you know that Mr. Wimpy's going to be around on a Sunday afternoon. You may want to actually remove sugar from your physical site in your house. You may want to not go down that chocolate aisle in the supermarket. Removing the cue where you can is going to be very, very beneficial. And let me share my screen with you again. Cougars come have a chat. Here we go. This one right here. Right. So here we're removing the cue. So once we remove step number 1, removing the cue, that whole process cannot start. Right, stop share. Sorry, get down. Get off the table. The second way is you can, if the cue throws up a craving, your craving is automatic. So you can't necessarily stop the craving, right? But the other way you can affect this habit loop is by removing the response. So the two things that you are in control of potentially are the cue and the response. You can't affect the craving or the reward. They are automatic. So you can also change your response. If you don't respond to the craving, your brain will start to learn that it can throw up a craving for sugar, but it doesn't get met with a response. It doesn't get the reward that it wants. So again, I'll show that next image for you. Here. So here, you might still have the cue somewhere. Maybe that's the emotional response, the emotion that triggers that craving for you. If you don't respond to that craving, you don't then give it a reward. And the brain soon learns, well, I can throw up a craving and it's not going to be met with a response. So there's no point throwing up cravings anymore. I'm not going to get what I want by throwing up a craving. Now, this part is what will be hard for you, but this is the part that is really necessary to practice. You may not be able to remove all of your cues that in life that start that whole craving process for you. That just trying to work on removing the cues from your life is like waiting for life to be perfect or for everyone else in your life to behave exactly as you want them to behave in order for you to be successful. But you can't control what other people do, so don't even try. That is why not responding to your craving and retraining your brain to not receive a reward is the most powerful thing that you can do to break this habit loop. So, how do we do this? Well, habits are automatic. We find ourselves doing these things before we're even really aware that we're doing them, right? So we need to become super conscious about what it is that we're doing. But that takes work, which is hard. That's the hard part. And as you've already learned about the motivational triad, we as humans, we're always looking to conserve energy, which means taking the shortcut. which kind of goes, doing hard work kind of goes against our nature, doesn't it? But we can do hard things. I want you to tap into all the hard things that you've done in the past that have driven you to success, and I want you to know that you can do it. All we're doing is resisting an urge. That's all we're doing. I want you to make a 24-hour food plan. You plan your whole day's worth of food at the beginning of your day. At the beginning of the day, your conscious brain, the real you, the one that knows that you can achieve your goal, the one that wants bigger and better things for you in your life, this is the brain that will do the planning for you at the beginning of the day. It is freshly rested, so it's not tired. It's not, you don't do this at the end of the day. At the end of the day, the conscious brain is tired. It's been making massive decisions all day, and it's going to hand simple decisions like what to eat back to the unconscious brain to run. Your habit brain is your unconscious brain. So you want to set your day's worth of eating using this conscious brain. Then here's the easy part. You just stick to your plan 100% during the day. You do not vary. What you get to do is plan realistically at the beginning of the day. You must plan where you do consciously want to eat sugar. You don't plan unrealistically. You plan realistically. You might say, okay, I'm going out for dinner tonight with a bunch of friends, and I know I want this particular dessert at this place because I know I can never say no, so I'm going to put it on my plan. You say, I've got a birthday party. It's my own. And I want to eat my own birthday cake. So it's going on my plan. Right? You're planning your sugar intake consciously and strategically. You're planning with your conscious brain, not your reactionary, unconscious habit brain. If you truly want to beat your sugar cravings as well, you do not eat off plan. You stick to your 24-hour plan 100%. By the end of the day, your conscious brain is going to be tired. Expect this. This is when it's easy for the unconscious brain to take over your decision-making around food. And this is where you're likely to fall back into old habits. So you want to be aware of this. So you must use your daily planner and you must stick to it. It's actually quite simple. If sugar is not on your plan and you have a craving for it, you do not eat it. It's not on your plan. But you can plan for it the next day. Easy. So you never have to feel deprived. You just put it on your plan the next day. And the next day, if you don't want it, that's okay. You don't have to eat it. You're eating from a place of consciousness. You're training your unconscious brain, your habit brain, not to expect a reward just because it throws one up, just because it throws up a craving. And you're starting to break that habit loop. You're planning with your conscious mind, not your unconscious mind. As you're planning your day, you want to ask yourself questions like, how do I want to feel today? There's a questionnaire step in your book that you can fill out. Plan your day with how you want to feel. Understand the consequences of the decisions that you're making, of what you're planning for your day. Consider what obstacles may stand in the way of you succeeding and following through with your plan today. Think about these first. Get really conscious. If you are planning to have no sugar in the day and you know you're going out for a birthday party and there's going to be cake and there's going to be dessert and it's going to be all the things, are you planning realistically? Is that an obstacle that's going to stand in the way of you following through with your plan and feeling successful today? How will you respond? How are you planning to respond if your brain throws up a craving for sugar and it's not on the plan? You need to have a plan of attack. You need to know what your response is going to be. You need to know how you're going to deal with that. The more conscious you can be with regards to your planning your day, planning when you don't want to have sugar, planning when you do want to have sugar, the more successful you are going to be at following through. Yes, it's going to be hard at first. You're likely going to not plan sugar. You're going to forget about your plan and you're going to eat something. You're going to go off plan. You're likely going to give in to a craving and eat something sugary, but you don't stop there. You don't stop because, oops, it didn't work. I messed up. I made a mistake. I failed. Remember, we don't stop here. If you make a mistake, you answer the self-reflection questions. You get really clear on what happened and why it happened. You do not beat yourself up. When you beat yourself up, you heighten your emotions and you're more likely to send yourself into a negative downward spiral, breaking that plan even further with more sugar, right? You have to become super aware of what's going on, what worked, what didn't work, why it happened, so that you can put together a plan for success next time. We're wanting to break that habit loop, and it will take time. We are perfecting the art of becoming conscious with our food, and we're wanting to ignore any urges and not give in to them. And for the brain to unlearn the cues that end up with a dopamine reward, this is the steps that we must take. We just need to keep going and keep trying, keep failing, keep getting back on that wagon, keep learning, keep going. Allow yourself time and imperfection. Don't train a dog with one handshake, right? You didn't train your brain by eating sugar once. It was a pattern. So patience as you unlearn that pattern. Okay. So do we have any questions about that so far? Hey, Ellen. Hey, Joe. Hey, Jenna. Sarah Donuts. Alrighty. Good to see you guys on. Thank you for joining me. Alrighty. So this is a process, as I said, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes being really conscious and super aware of what's going on for you. It takes learning and practice and mistakes, and failing and trying again and again and again. And over time, your brain will unlearn the cue, unlearn that throwing up an urge gets met with a reward. It's going to unlearn that process because you are going to simply ignore that craving. Now, how do you ignore the craving? I want you to think about it. I want you to think about your craving like the toddler within you throwing a tantrum. It's the toddler in you throwing a tantrum to have a candy bar for breakfast. If your toddler throws a tantrum one morning for a candy bar for breakfast, throwing such a tantrum that you want to give it a candy bar just to keep it satisfied and stop it screaming, guess what? You strengthen that child's belief that they can throw up a desire, an urge for a candy bar and have that urge met with a candy bar, right? So you are strengthening that habit loop by giving into that child's desire. That urge is your inner 2-year-old throwing a tanty for sugar for breakfast. The best way to break that loop, one, you don't fight with your toddler. You don't fight with your toddler. You don't say, no, you shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. You shouldn't be here. Go away. Leave me alone. That's going to make the toddler throw an even wilder tantrum, isn't it? The child's going to get really, really, really cranky and really, really, really loud until you eventually give in. So we don't want to fight with our urges either. We just want to allow them. So allow your inner 2-year-old to throw that tantrum for sugar. Just allow it to happen. Guess what happens when you just allow a child to throw a little bit of a tanty for a moment and you just let it be? Soon the energy runs out and they get on with their day. The tanty's over, right? So that's what you want to do with your craving. You just want to allow it to be there. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not going to make it wrong. We're not going to judge it for being there. We're just going to say, isn't that interesting? I'm having that craving again. The craving cannot hurt you. Just by having a craving, it doesn't mean that you have to give in to it. Your brain is going to fight for you to give in to that urge, to that craving. It's going to say all sorts of things to you to make you try and eat. You must come up with a good response. Isn't that interesting? I'm having that craving again. Oh yes, I know it tastes good and I want my goals. I want to feel healthy as well. What's your response going to be? You just allow that craving to be there and you do not respond and you do not fight with it. Simple step. But that is what's going to take practice for you. That is what's going to feel hard. Not giving in to that urge and not fighting that urge. But it's so important because we want to train the brain that throwing up an urge, it can throw up an urge, but nothing's going to happen. Just like your 2-year-old toddler is soon going to learn that it can throw a tanty for candy for breakfast, but you know what? It's not going to happen. Mum just ignores me. So what's the point? I'm not going to throw a tanty anymore. So that's what we're doing here. Right. Does that make sense, team? Does that make sense? Hello, Paul. Thank you for joining me. Does that make sense? Think of your craving as your inner 2-year-old throwing a tantrum. You just want to allow that tantrum to happen. Plenty. Paul, this is processed sugar only. It's not whole food carbohydrates. Your situation is probably likely different to most of the people experiencing sugar urges here. Right? We're talking about highly processed, unnatural sugars, not whole food carbohydrates. Alrighty, so if you guys, I hope that makes sense, Joanne. I think that makes sense. Yeah, good. So that's something for you to practice. That's something for you to start to practice in terms of allowing that urge to be there and really trying to break that habit loop cycle by not giving into it, not responding to it. We're just not going to respond, right? We're not going to argue with it. We're not going to fight it, and we're not going to give into it. We're just not going to respond. We're just going to allow it to be there. We're going to allow it to throw its tantrum. We're going to love on it. We're going to listen to it. We're going to allow it to be there, but we're not going to respond. And that's going to help break that habit loop cycle. And soon you won't have urges. You'll have those same cues that get thrown up, but the urge won't be there. Your brain will be trained differently. We're going to create new neural pathways in your brain. So things are going to start firing in different directions. But that takes time and it takes practice. We are creating a new habit within your brain. We're unlearning one habit and we're creating a new one. Alrighty. Now, guys, if you are, I've got a little offer for you here. If you're loving what you're learning so far with regards to breaking the cycle of sugar addiction, but if you might be afraid that once this training's over and you are left to your own devices to get through this, and this training and this information is going to fade, you possibly go back to old habits as well and start feeding that addiction. I have decided that I'm going to package this training as a mini course for you. So for any of you who feel like you want to watch and rewatch and absorb and I guess binge watch until you get it right, this is for you. Learning new things often takes time and rewatching, rereading, redoing, rehearing things over and over and over till the concept really sinks in. I liken it to needing to watch Game of Thrones 10 times until you actually really understand everything that they're saying. This certainly happened for me when I went back to episode 1 and started watching it from the beginning again first time. So if you are if this is you, if you feel like you're going to need to watch this again and again, and you're wanting ongoing access to this training, to these videos, then I am offering a special launch price for anybody who is registered to this sugar training. Okay, you need to be registered though, or else you won't get the details. So it's going to include all 5 videos, the 5 training videos that we'll have this week. And so essentially that's like 5 training sessions with me, valued about $750. Australian, you'll get the workbook as well in PDF or Google format, value about $30. More templates, I'm going to bring some more templates, some more downloads that are going to be related to this training, value about $20. I'm going to throw in my recipes as well if you don't have those, value about $50. And then I'm going to offer you a bonus one-on-one coaching session with me, which is valued at about $50. You get me all to yourself to ask all the questions that you want. We can dive in and talk about whatever it is that is coming up for you on this particular training, whether that is whether you need to go and find out what is really happening for you within, you know, what that urge or that craving is really meaning and why you're numbing with sugar. Or we can work through this strategy to retrain your brain and really help you come up with some ways that your brain can respond to those cravings. Or we can come up with some new recipes, things that are going to help shift your microbiome or help you with whatever it is that is coming up for you. Tomorrow's topic is about identity and how you see yourself. You know, you might want some help around that. So offering you that one-on-one too, so that you can really start to create success in your life and really start to master getting on top of this sugar addiction. So all up, that's about $1,000 Australian value. So I'm going to offer this at a special launch price to anyone who's registered at $100 Australian. So it's about 75 US. All right, after this launch period, it is going to go up in value, in price. All right. And as another bonus for you as well, in case just only for you guys who are registered, all right? I said I wasn't going to do this, but I am going to do another offer on my Kickstart program. So I'm going to be running the 30-day Kickstart program again in January the 10th. Now, this is a 30-day program that comes with a bunch of resources. I'll talk about those in a moment. But if you feel like you just want to go on a bit of a detox period for 30 days, to help you make those cravings and urges just go away. Like you've got a plan for 30 days, you're just going to totally get rid of it from your system and really start 2022 off on the right foot, feeling great, looking great, feeling energized, feeling positive, feeling lighter even, then this may be an opportunity for you as well. I will be running this program as a group. There will be 30 days of amazing recipes, meal plans and shopping lists. There will be group calls, a group call to get us kicked off together, and then weekly Zoom calls with me as well, where I'll be talking about a range of different topics, and then I can help you with any support or coaching or guidance to, or kick in the butt if that's what you really need, right? To help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Now, normally this program sells for $300, but I'm going to offer it to you guys here at my Black Friday offer of 50 off. Okay, now like I said I wasn't gonna offer that price ever again. It was only going to be a Black Friday deal, but I'll do this for anybody who is registered just for this event until the end of tomorrow. Like it's just a 2-day offer. All right. This deal is off the table by the time I finish my working day tomorrow. So if you want it, you better jump on it. You better just DM me now. But you'll also get a copy of this offer in the replay email that you'll get tonight and tomorrow. So if you want it, you can just respond to that email as well. But getting quick on that, all right? So the training offer was value of about $1,000, which I'm going to flick off for $100 to get the ball rolling on it. This offer is going to be available until Christmas Eve only, all right? And then the Kickstart will be $150. That's for the 30-day, I guess, detox, 30-day sugar detox for anybody who needs it. And that offer is on the table till Friday. All right. So just make a decision. Just say yes or no. There's nothing worse than sitting in indecision or in fear. Sometimes we're sitting in a place of fear, like, oh, I don't know what I should do. That's your soul going, you know what, just do it. just do it. You need this. You just need to do it. All right. But just make a decision. Okay. I don't mind if it's a yes or a no, but deep down you do. You know if you need something like this. So just make a decision and just be happy with that decision. All right. I don't mind which it is, but I do care about helping you. If you think you can do it on your own, absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to have brought this training to you. But if you want some help, please do reach out. That's what I'm here for. All right. Tomorrow, last day, we're going to dig deep into our soul. We're going much deeper tomorrow. Oh, I told you it was going to get deeper and harder each day we went along. All right, this is going to talk to who we really want to be in this world. All right, when you make changes in your life around who you want to be, not just what you do, you can achieve anything, right? We can achieve anything we want to be if we step into being that person now, right? You can achieve anything. I believe in you, all right? I believe in you, so it's time that you did too. All right. Thank you, team. Yes, the real meaning of life is always hidden beneath the urges. You are good. Oh, yes, Joanne, you are signed up. Yes. Are you ready to kick off? I think we're doing it January 10th. So everybody who's bought that pack already can join us in January 10th. Paul, you've already got it too. So if you want to join us then, you can. Okay, so that's it for today, folks. I hope you got some value out of that. I hope it's given you some insight into how to retrain your brain. And I hope you found that interesting. So if you have any questions about this, please either post them in this thread, post them in the group, post what you are learning. I'm really keen to see, I really want to know your ahas. I really want to know if this is landing for you. I really want to know if this is helping you shift your sugar urges and your sugar cravings. So let's get really active here and start posting and start celebrating all of the wins or the learnings, at least, what you're learning here. Alrighty, good team. It was wonderful seeing all your beautiful faces online again. And I will see you same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. Ciao for now.